that's new flavors. But you know, another thing that an ice cream company needs to do is to sell ice cream. Ben and Jerry's has a bunch of franchised ice cream shops around the country, but there are some of those shops that are partner shops. And a partner shop is owned by a nonprofit, usually working with at-risk youth. Ben and Jerry waives the franchise fee, and the profits of that shop go to the nonprofit that owns it and go to training, providing job training for the clients that they work with. Another thing a company needs to do is have a banking relationship. We became aware of a bank called the South Shore Bank in Chicago, which was the first bank in the country to be known as a development bank. You know, in most areas of the country, banks redline certain neighborhoods. They tend to, and those are neighborhoods that they will not loan money into in order to buy houses or fix houses up. And what happens is that those areas, you know, they're not doing that well to start with, and then they can't get any investment, so they start going downhill even further in the States between the people of those two countries, as opposed to walls of fear. And we were just coming out with a chocolate-covered ice cream pop on a stick, and we decided that if instead of, you know, talking on the outside of the package about how this is the most marvelous ice cream you've ever eaten and it's, you know, really, really good and rich and creamy, we would instead talk about this issue of shifting money out of the Pentagon and into peace through understanding activities. And we ended up calling the pop a peace pop. And this was incredibly controversial internally in our company. The high-level executives were, you know, on both sides of the issue. Members of the board were on both sides of the issue. People were essentially saying, you know, this is a political statement. Business has no business making a political statement. Businesses don't do that. This can be construed as criticizing the government. Businesses don't do that. You know, some people aren't going to agree with you. Right-wing groups are going to picket the supermarkets that are carrying your product. The supermarkets are going to take it off the shelf. Sales of the product are going to dive. All those people that are making the product are going to lose their jobs. You know, it was kind of tearing the company apart. And finally, I just, what did I do? I forced everyone to do it. You know, they say you can't do too many things like that end up leaving dead bodies in the way, but I was young. And, but what happened was that it wasn't a problem. We ended up coming out with the peace pops. They were calling for this shift of money, and we actually got tons of positive publicity for it. And none of that bad stuff happened. And what it did was demonstrated to the company that, well, you can take political stands and, you know, you're not going to get in trouble for it. And that kind of opened the way for the company to continue to take more and more stands on, you know, things that, in terms of conventional wisdom, are controversial, but in terms of real life, are not. You know, most anybody, given the choice of taking a little of the money that you spend on nuclear weapons and spending it on education instead, feels really good about spending it on education instead. Well, you know, there came a point in the history of Ben and Jerry's when the media accused us of what kind of hypocritically doing good deeds in order to sell more ice cream. And our response was that, the various social activities that we undertook were based on deeply held values. And it was just another integrated and holistic effort to meet another set of our customers' needs, the need to address some of the prevailing social problems of our day, and that it adds value to our product. It gives us a unique selling proposition. It motivates our employees. It helps with recruiting employees that want to work for a company whose values they agree with. And it builds tremendous consumer loyalty. Most companies are trying to get their customers to buy their product by making funny or cute or heartwarming TV advertisements. Kind of slapping an image or a story onto themselves. Ben and Jerry's was expressing its deeply held convictions. And when you can make a connection with somebody based on shared values, when a business can make a connection with its customers based on shared values, it is a very, very, very deep connection. And it builds tremendous consumer loyalty. In terms of how our elections are financed. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some BBs into this bucket. Now in this demonstration, each BB equals $600. So now I'm going to dump in the amount of BBs that represents how much 90% of the American population donates to politicians. That was 0. 90% of Americans don't give anything to politicians. It's kind of understandable. Then there's the next 9%. And I'm going to show you, so each BB equals $600, right? This is what it sounds like. So now I'm going to show you how much 10 people in the next 9% donate to politicians. That was 1 BB, $600, so the average contribution of people in the next 9% is $60. Times 10, 600, 1 BB. So now I want to demonstrate how much the average person in the top 1% donates to politicians. That was 6 BBs, $3,600. And now I want to demonstrate how much the average of the top 100 contributing corporations donate to politicians. In the words of my friends at Occupy Wall Street, shit is fucked up. Now, problems and not talk about solutions. And so therefore, I now have this amazing audio-visual PowerPoint that talks about the movement to get money out of politics. Can we see the first video action? That's on the next slide. So we do have to get the, oh yeah, look, it's these girls are good. Very good. Maybe we can dim the lights a little.
So Ben, we got this situation. There's too much money in politics.
Well, it's not that there's too much money. To me, it's not that there's too much money in politics. It's who the money's coming from. I mean, the rich and the corporations are controlling our elections and our politicians because they own them, because they buy them.
And so our government is not responsive to the needs of the people.
Exactly.
So we need to overcome that. We need to have a constitutional amendment to overturn the Citizens United Supreme Court decision.
And then some.
And in order to do that, we need a groundswell of Americans, the grassroots, to rise up and to get that message out. You've created the Stamp Stampede.
Yeah, because it really is possible for the grassroots to rise up and demand something when all you have to do is stamp $1. It's really easy to do. Anybody can do it for as much as they want, as little as they want. They can do it alone, they can do it with other people. I mean, it's a nice thing to do when you're having a drink at a bar.
What are the messages say?
Well, this one says, stamp money out of politics. This one says, the system isn't broken, it's fixed. You know, they all say amend the Constitution at the bottom. This one says, not to be used for bribing politicians. This is kind of my favorite one.
That's your go-to stamp?
Yeah. I mean, I also like the system isn't broken, it's fixed, but that's a little deep, you know?
It's a play on words.
People don't get that right off, you know, something about you know, when they get it, they think it's cool. Every you stamp gets seen by 900 people.
So finally, people can do something that they care about.
Yeah, and they can do it anywhere, anytime, whatever's convenient.
It feels like you're able to participate. It's only slightly subversive.
Just slightly. But it is legal. It is definitely legal. We have the legal opinions, the lawyers, the whole deal.
That is excellent. I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So people can do something that's positive, that's constructive. They don't have to sit around lamenting.
No, you just get pissed. You just stand, man. Stand, man. Get it out, you know.
So Ben, you gotta get the word.
That's the whole deal. You go to stampstampede.org and you get one of these stamps.
To get the word out
That's right.
about the constitutional amendment to return our democracy to the people.
You got it. You got it.
Is that every dollar bill that you stamp stays in circulation for another 2.5 years, and it accumulates with the rest of the dollar bills that people have stamped 2.5 years ago, and the ones that people are going to stamp 2.5 years from now, and it's very visual. The other thing, oh, that's cumulative, right? Visual, cumulative. And the idea is that as more and more people do it, it becomes an overwhelming public demonstration of support for getting this law changed. The impact of stamping is quite amazing. Every bill you stamp, as it gets passed from person to person, gets seen 875 times. So if you do some multiplication, if you are just one person and you stamp 3 bills a day for a year, you create about 1 million impressions. More, you create more. Now there are over 60,000 stampers around the country, and we're adding about 1,000 every week. And this gives you an idea of the growth from year to year over the last 3 years. And people find these bills and they take pictures of them with their smartphones, and they just put them up on social media. And there's more and more of this being done. You know, the reality is that the only way that we're ever going to overcome the moneyed interests is with numbers. And when you think about it, that's what really any social movement, any revolution has ever been about, is large numbers of people working together being more powerful than the money. The news media has been covering this. There's Bill Moyers, Time Magazine, MSNBC, a few other ones. And the beauty, and what's happening is that we're making headway. We're over 33% of the way to a constitutional amendment to get money out of politics. Already 17 states have voted in favor of a resolution to amend the Constitution to get money out. There's 2 more, I think the state of Washington and the state of California have it on the ballot this coming November. 55 U.S. senators have voted in favor, and 117 representatives. During the, you might have seen that a bunch of the presidential candidates have been talking about this issue. And we were part of a coalition in New Hampshire that was working to get this issue into the presidential debates, and this was our local billboard that we had there. And these are our stamping stations that were at the various mom and pop stores there. There's other ways of communicating this message because, it's electronic. It's an electronic world. A lot of people aren't using cash. So I came up with this signature on my emails. And some people said, it's a little over the top. And so I changed it to this one. That's better. And then I changed it to this one, which referred back to the first one. And then, of course, I'm from Vermont, so we have this one. And then my girlfriend really liked that one. That's what this campaign is about. And I now have for you, I'm going to demonstrate before you here tonight, right before your very eyes, the coolest, hippest, sickest, illest, off the hook innovation in the money stamping world today. Are you looking right here?
Yeah.
This is it. The executive model pop-out pocket stamp. Transforms from a little thing hanging out in your pocket to a stamp that you too can use to make your money talk. Not only that, but right here tonight, today, I'm making a special offer for all of you here, anybody here, to get your own stamp. It's a special, amazing offer. I'm going to offer you my personal discount code, BC25. All you need to do is go to stampstampede.org. Get any stamp you want. You can even get more than one. Enter my personal discount code, BC25. You might think it only gets you 25% off. No. For you, right here tonight, 50% off on your next stamp purchase. And you too could become a member of the Stampede. However, there is one thing. Before you do that, in order to be able to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime offer, you amend the Constitution to get money out of politics.